الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear sisters, my dear daughter, welcome back to a new episode of Beautiful Names of Allah. Today, inshallah, we'll have two names of beautiful name of Allah that we're going to have more to study them and have more information about them. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make all these beneficial for me and for you, and inshallah I am wishing, after passing more than 6 months in studying the name of Allah, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make all of people here attending to enter the paradise by their compliance for attendance and understanding and their enthusiasm to continue to know the rest of the names of Allah. Allahumma lakal hamd. Alhamdulillah hamdan kathiran mubarakan fi. May Allah grant us devotion and acceptance, inshallah. As we're going to proceed by the hadith that sent to us by Messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, verily Allah has 99 names, 100 but one. Whosoever knows each and every one of them, believe in them and works according to them, enter the paradise. So today, inshallah, we have with us the first name is ALHFEEDH-ALHAFEEDH. ALHFEEDH-ALHAFEEDH. ALHFEEDH-ALHAFEEDH, the protector, the guardian. The protector, the guardian. So this is actually the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both of them mentioned in the Quran, Al-Hafidh and Al-Hafidh. Al-Hafidh is the taking the, in Arabic it's called the Sighat al-Mubalagha, or the exaggerated forms of protection, the all protecting. And Al-Hafidh is the, in Arabic it's called the Ism al-Fa'il, or the one who is guard us, or the guardian. And we're going to know now in the meanings the difference between them, Al-Hafidh and Al-Hafidh. We have both of them are coming from the roots Hafidha. The Arabic root of the Arabic word is Hafidha. Hafidha is coming from the 3 letters, ha, fa, dha, hafidha. Hafidha in Arabic gives the meaning of protection, guarding, memorizing, and recording. All these meanings go to just this one word, hafidha. So Al-Hafidh, who protects the heaven and the earth and all that is in them, and protects all the believers in both, protect them in their life and in the religion, protect them. And we're going to know what is the meaning of protection, how Allah protects us. Allah protects us in our life by having the, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting by having, protecting from dangerous situations, protecting from difficult circumstances to happen to us that we cannot bear, protect us by supplying us with the basic needs of life that we need to have in our life, and also protect us in our religion, that help us to be steadfast and keep firm on his straight path. So this is a type of protection. protection is that for Allah for us, Al-Hafidh, is to keep us on his path during the life, that inshallah during the hereafter to can enter the paradise. The name of Allah, Al-Hafidh. Al-Hafidh is recording the deeds of his slaves and protect and guard specifically every believer. So when we are talking about Al-Hafidh, Al-Hafidh has the meaning of recording of the deeds for all the slaves, either it is bad or good, but for the protection, guarding specifically for every believer. So Al-Hafiz, that is more specific for protection and guarding. If I'm going to say Al-Hafiz is the all protecting and guarding for the all believer, and Al-Hafiz is specifically for every believer, because maybe you are thinking that he was not recorded. No, Al-Hafiz is specifically for protection and guarding for every believer and recording the deeds of his slaves. Al-Hafiz is also from the meanings that we mentioned in the beginning of the word Hafiza. So Al-Hafiz is never forgetting and all-knowing. Al-Hafiz is never making his believers to be lost. Never make the believer to be lost, and he is never forgetting and all-knowing. So when we have the name of Allah, Al-Hafiz, Al-Hafiz, we should know the difference that Al-Hafiz is specifically for every believer protection. Al-Hafiz is having the general protections for all the believers, the all-knowing, that never forgetting and never make his believers to be lost. And all these meanings, as we mentioned, come from the word Hafiza as in Arabic language. Now we got looking to the different meaning, as we mentioned, for Al-Hafiz, that came in different ayat of the Quran. That's why you will find I write the name of Allah and Al-Hafiz, and beside it the meaning here. What is the meaning of the ayah for the name of Allah, Al-Hafiz? We have Surah Hud in ayah 57. Allah is saying, but if they turn away about the disbeliever, say, Ya Muhammad, I have already conveyed that with which I was sent to you. My Lord will give successions to a people who other than you, and you will not harm him at all. Indeed, my Lord is over all things Hafiz. Sorry, this is Prophet Hud, by the way. This is Prophet Hud, what he mentioned to his people when they disbelieved him. So he told them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his mission is to convey the message for them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring other people than them, and they will not harm Allah, as my Lord means that Allah or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is over all things Hafiz. All things, over all things, Hafiz is all knowing here. The meaning of Al-Hafiz here is coming for the all knowing. In Surah Saba, ayah 21, and he had over them no authority except it was decreed that we might make evident who believe in the hereafter from who is therefore in doubt, and your Lord over all things is Hafiz. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making this life as an test for the people to know who will prefer the hereafter, or to believe in the Jannah and in the hellfire, from which he is in doubt. Why he said here the Al-Hafiz here is coming by the meaning that Allah is recording and Allah all protector. So the all recording and all protector is coming because he's speaking about two groups, the believers and disbeliever, the one who is believing in the hereafter and the one he is in doubt. But for those who are believers and disbeliever, he's recording the deeds in the hereafter, in the life, for the bad deeds and good deeds, and to protection for whom? Protection for the believers that Allah subhanahu, as we mentioned, He will protect the believers in the life by keeping them on the straight pathway on their religion, and also will protect them in the hereafter by making them enter the paradise. We have Surah Yusuf, ayah 64. He said, should I entrust you with him except under correction, as I entrusted you with his brother before? But Allah is the best guardian, and He is the most merciful of the merciful. Here, the name of Allah, Al-Hafidh, فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا. Hafidhan here is guardian, came by the meaning of guardian. And this is what Prophet Jacob, Yaqub alayhi salam, mentioned to his sons when they wanted to take the second brother of Prophet Yusuf, Benjamin or Benjamin, with them. So he mentioned to them, Allah is the best guardian of Allahu khayrun hafidhan. Hafidhan here is a guardian, coming by the meaning of guardian. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. In Surah Al-Hijr, ayah 9, indeed it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed we will be its guardian. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Here, حافظون, the end of the ayah, حافظون, is coming from the name of Allah, Al-Hafidh, and the un or the waw and nun, it comes for more the glory, the glorious, giving more glory to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is mentioning about the Quran and how He is protecting this Quran and guarding this Quran from being modified, being changed, as happened before in the Bible and in the Torah, where they changed it by the Rabia and by the priests a long time ago. But for the Quran, Allah is mentioning that He is the one who is taking care, guardian, and the protector of this Quran. So here the name of Allah, Al-Hafidh, Hafidhun, is coming by the meaning of guardian. If you go to the Sunnah, we'll find a dua that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to say before going to bed. He shake his bed sheet because he doesn't know what might have fallen on it after he had left it, and then recite بسمك اللهم بسمك ربي وضعت جنبي اللهم بسمك ربي أرفعه إن اللهم إني أسلمت نفسي إليك إن أمسكتها فارحمها وإن أرسلتها فاحفظها بما تحفظ به عبادك الصالحين. Which means, with your name, my Lord, I place my side upon the bed, and with your grace I will raise it up. If you withhold my soul, have mercy on it. But if you let it go, let me life, guard it. فاحفظها. Here, Prophet Muhammad is asking Allah to protect or to guard. To guard what? To guard his soul. Guard or protect it against which you guarded or protected your pious slaves. So this is a dua mentioned by Prophet Muhammad, and he's teaching us this dua before sleep when we are on our bed, that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our soul if He returned back to, because you know that it is mentioned in Surah Al-Zumar that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking the souls during sleep and then return it back in the morning when we are woke up. So the one who the life ended, so the soul will not be back to him. That's why Prophet Muhammad say, if you withhold my soul, withhold means that Allah will take his soul, that means he will die. So have mercy on my soul. And if you let it go, means let it back to him, to keep him still alive, so to guard or to protect him from what he guarded his pious slaves. Now we'll come to the benefits of living with name of Allah, Al-Hafidh, Al-Hafidh. The first of all, as we mentioned, call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by this name, Al-Hafidh and Al-Hafidh, to protect you in your life and in your religion. And this is the most important that all of us need, that we have the basic needs of our life that keep us to maintain our strength and to maintain our worshipping to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in order to be on the straight path, that Allah protect us in the to keep us on firm on his straight path, we should have a good health in order to maintain this worship. And in order to have a good health, we ask Allah to provide us and to protect us from anything, from what all the things that we are fear, from anxious, from anxiety, from diseases, whatever. I ask protection Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life. Why I'm asking the protection in the life, as Prophet Muhammad mentioned, Salullah al-afiyah, which means ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being healthy or in a good shape. Why you ask Allah to be healthy and in a good shape? In order to proper worshipping him, for proper worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the Al-Hafidh, Al-Hafidh, to keep us protected in our life and in our religion. To believe that protection, or the true protection, comes from Al-Hafidh. This is very important, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only is capable of protecting us and capable of keeping us on doing the work. Some people, maybe they are doing a lot of worshiping, a lot of prayers, a lot of fasting, and they are believing in themselves that they are deserve to be entering the paradise and deserve to be from the pious believers, because they are doing that. But actually, the wrong way that they thought about that the one who gave the health and the one who gave you the power and the ability to do this worship is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the protection, the true protection, that Allah is giving you the capabilities to do all these things and to have your needs in life to can proper worshiping him. So the true protection is coming from Al-Hafidh. Also, Al-Hafidh, as we mentioned, Al-Hafidh is the protection specifically for every believer. We can feel that during the journeys. This is a very striking example that people who are traveling from country to country, how much they need Al-Hafidh with them. That's why the Prophet Jacob alayhi salam, he mentioned to his sons, Allahu khayrun hafidhan, Allah is the best guardian. So you have to take care, of course, and take the reasons that you have a safe journey, but you have in your heart to believe that the guardian is Allah and the protector is Allah. And if you have this journey without the aid of Allah, you will be lost. You will be lost. And this is what we mentioned in the meaning of Al-Hafidh, that Al-Hafidh, the believers, the true believers in Al-Hafidh will not be lost. Allah will not make them lost. To be sure that Al-Hafidh kept his book since more than 1400 years from modifications or changes and protected safely from being lost. This is what we make us proud of our book, of our Quran. The Quran is a miracle of the Prophet Muhammad till the day of judgment. The Quran and the bonding of the Quran and the meanings of the ayat that give me more protection and more feeling safely that what I am reading came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then to Jibreel alayhi salam, then to the Prophet Muhammad, and from Prophet Muhammad to me. I am now reading the Quran like Prophet Muhammad used to read on the Sahaba. And what a proud that we should feel all as Muslims, that we have our holy book, never changed, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Hafidh, protected his book from any modifications, any letter to be added or to be lost from it. It was like what revealed exactly on Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. To keep regular performance of our prayers. And this is important because Actually, in Surah Al-Ma'arij, when Allah is mentioned, and those who carefully keep performing their prayer, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Here, the word يُحَافِظُون is coming for يُحَافِظُون is a verb for the people, for the believers who performing their prayers. We said before that from the meaning of hafiza is to protect. How the believers will protect their prayers. And this is what came clearly in Surah Al-Ma'arij. The prayers will protect their prayers by focusing during prayers, by feeling that you are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by deeply concentrating of the words you are saying from the different ayat. So this is the protection. To perform your salah at the time should be done, not make it late. If you can do it at the same time, it will be better. Also, we have in Surah At-Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the word Al-Hafidhun, or those who are keep their what they're obeying to the limits, or who observe. Here's the ayah in ayah 112 in Surah At-Tawbah is saying to keep rules of Islam. Such believers are the repentant, the worshipper, the praiser of Allah, the travelers for His cause, those who bow and prostrate in prayer, those who enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong, and those who observe the limits set by Allah. Here the word observe is coming here in the ayah in Arabic, وَالْحَافِظُونَ لِحُدُودِ اللَّهِ. وَالْحَافِظُونَ is it is an adjective to the believers. What the believers is mentioning that they are keeping them away from the limits that Allah set. They are not passing these limits. They know that they have, so they are keeping and protecting themselves from crossing these limits. So again, Al-Hafidhun here is coming for protection. How to protect ourselves from crossing the limits or the forbidden that Allah forbid, by avoiding even to be near to these forbidden things. And then Allah at the end of the ayah is telling and give good tidings to the believers who are doing all these things. And as we mentioned, the last thing is to keep away or to protect themselves from crossing the limits that Allah mentioned. Now we'll come to the related verse in Surah Al-Jinn about protection. Remember in the meanings, we mentioned that from the protection that Allah is protecting the earth and the heaven. Just to know that before the birth of Prophet Muhammad والسلام, there was many of the people like the what we call them, the monks and the priests were very famous at that time, and they used to use the jinn and the aid and the support of the jinn to know the future news. At that time, the jinn used to penetrate the seventh heaven, and they start to, what we call it, to hear what's happening in the heaven, in the decree of the people, and they catch up one thing and they started to add many other lies on this one truth. So add that and then give it to this priest or to this monk that used, or other monk, we can say the soothsayers, that the people that telling the future to the people. So this is supposed to happen before the birth of Prophet Muhammad. But after the birth of Prophet Muhammad, this was completely protected. The heaven, the last heaven, the seventh heaven, completely protected by a flame and burning flame. And now this, what we called it, like the ball of fire that comes sometimes in the universe. This is what we mentioned in Surah Al-Jinn. We have in the next 3 ayahs, 8 and 9 and 10, mentioning about the jinn themselves. They are talking by saying, and we have thought the heaven, but found it filled with powerful guards and burning flames. And we used to sit therein in positions for hearing. But whoever listen now will find the burning flame lying in wait for him. And we don't know, therefore, whether evil is intended for those on the earth or whether their Lord intends for them a right course. So this is very clear that there is a completely changed here, that the jinn is founding themselves. They cannot go anymore to the protected heaven that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected by since the birth of Prophet Muhammad. There will be no one can tell the future, and by using the jinn or using those jinn, by having these guards and burning flames to them. This was related verse to the protection. So in the final of the name of Allah, Al-Hafidh, every time we are reading Al-Hafidh in the Quran or Al-Hafidh, we should remember these 4 words to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is protecting, to recording and knowing and will never make the believers to be lost, because he is the one who is protecting the believers in life and in hereafter, like we mentioned before. Now we'll come to the second name, which is a very interesting name actually, Al-Muqeet. Al-Muqeet, the maintainer, the one who has the power of everything. Al-Muqeet. Now the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Muqeet. We have to go again to the root. The Arabic root of Al-Muqeet is coming from the word qut, qaf, waw, ta, qut. Qut means essential food for making movement. When you are specifically talking about qut in Arabic, qut means essential food, essential food. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who provides sustenance. Al-Muqeet decreases the need of his creation by providing them with what the essentials they need in his immense knowledge, and provide them with whatever they need according to his will, and thus preserve. So since he is providing them with the essential and what they need specifically for every creature, so he preserve them with whatever he grants them. Also, he provides each creature with what is suitable for it and its components. If you're going to say, for example, the food, which is the origin of the name qut, so we'll see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us specific types of food, for example, carbohydrates, fat, proteins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us as a human beings. We have enzymes, we have hormones specifically for those type of food. When you eat meat, how it will be digested. When you eat vegetables, how it will be digested and assimilated and will be absorbed by all the tissues. So Al-Muqeet is the one who is providing you, and at the same time, he created for you the food and make this food suitable for you by the way he created you. So provision of food and the reconciliation between our components and of our body with the food to be suitable for us. And this is not only for mankind, it's for insects, for animals, for birds, for plants even. Not every plant is taking from the water in the soil the same amount of minerals. It differs according to the different types of plants. The animals For example, the elephant, how much the elephant is huge, but he's herbivorous, or he's just eating the green grasses and the green plants. In other things, that, for example, the eagle, or the, although it is a small bird, but he can eat for the dead animals, the meat of the dead animals. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wisdom, that He created the food and make this food suitable for every creature He created. And doing that, He's preserving the life of the living creatures on this earth. This is very important meaning of Al-Muqeet, which is, as we mentioned, the provision of the essential food, how much it is suitable for the creatures, and preserving these creatures. Also, it's not essential only. Allah is giving us more food, extra food, that we have vegetables, we have fruits, we have sweets. So there is, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us, for example, as a mankind, the essential, and if we need more. According to the scholar, and from them is Al-Sheikh An-Nabulsi, he said there is two types of food that Allah is providing us: the body that we mentioned now, and the soul. The soul food is the dhikrillah, how to remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how all the time to ask Allah, to make dua for Allah, make your prayers. This is another type of food for the soul. So the food is not only to eat. The food, there is a heart food. The food of the heart is remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Muqeet also as a preserving, as we mentioned, as a preserving for our sayings and advices and deeds. Anything we are doing, sayings or advices to others or deeds, are preserved. Who is preserving these things? The Al-Muqeet. And even if he is preserving with the time, we mentioning all these things. In the case of provision, we would like to highlight something, that we mentioned that Al-Muqeet is a provision of food. So Al-Muqeet is more specific by creating the body food and the heart food, as we mentioned, while the name of Allah, the provider, the Ar-Raziq, or Ar-Razzaq that we took before, is speaking about the general provision. The general provision of Ar-Razzaq. Maybe you have rizq in your way of our communication skills, or you have authority, or you have or you are wealthy, or you any other. We said that the rizq is not only food. The rizq is either food, wealth, authority, good reputation, good relation with people. So this is what's meaning by Ar-Razzaq, the one who is giving general provision. But when we are talking about Al-Muqeet, so he is the one who is giving the essential food. Only I am talking about the food important for the standing and for the preservation of the living creatures. And as we mentioned, another important meaning is the preserving of our sayings and advices and needs. And this is what we're going to have here in Surah An-Nisa. This is mentioned once, the name of Allah, Al-Muqeet, is mentioned only once in Quran. In Surah An-Nisa, ayah 85, whoever intercedes for a good cause will have a reward therefore. And whoever intercedes for an evil cause will have a burden therefrom. And ever is Allah over all things preserving, or maintainer, but here the maintainer or Al-Muqeet is giving the meaning of preserving. Allah is preserving every advices or intercede we are doing. If we have advise others or doing good deeds to others, Allah is preserving it for us. And on the reverse, if we are doing bad things or evil things, or try to make type of problems between people, so Allah also is preserving that for us. So this is from the meanings of Al-Muqeet. As we mentioned here, we come to the benefits of living with Al-Muqeet. Living with Al-Muqeet will make us to call him by his name to provide us with what we need. Provide us with what we need from the things to keep us healthy in order to what? To have the ability for the proper worshipping of Allah, as we mentioned before. طبعا we have to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Muqeet, who will provide you what you need and more than what you need. If you're really in need of something and you sincerely call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Muqeet, he will provide you. And if we come to the provision of the essentials, as we mentioned, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can feel how Allah is caring about us by having two names for about the provision. One is a general as Al-Razzaq, and the other is more specific like Al-Muqeet. We can feel the favors of Al-Muqeet on us. And as we mentioned, the favors is not only for food, it's food and our soul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning in Surah Al-Ra'd, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. With the remembrance of Allah, the hearts will settle down or will be in serene or in quietness. So the quietness of the heart, the serenity of the heart, the tranquility in the heart, all these things come by remembrance of Allah, by doing dua, by doing prayers. Now we can see in these situations we have now, all the people are anxious, all the people are agitated of what's happening. No one will know what's happening next day or next hour maybe. So what you need to calm yourself, it's not the antidepressant. It's not the things that calm you down. It's the remembrance of Allah. If you go to Allah with all your feelings and all your concentration and all your focus, Allah will bring this serenity and pour this tranquility in your heart. This thing, if it happens to you, it needs to be grateful for Allah and praise Allah for that and say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah that Allah pours the serenity and quietness in your heart. So the favors of Al-Muqeet is both physical and spiritual. And to show Al-Muqeet your gratitude. How to show Al-Muqeet your gratitude? By be there for the needy. If you need him in your essential needs, you have to be there for the needs of the people needs you. So this is one of showing gratitude to Al-Muqeet. Help others and make the charity. And the best of the charity is feeding the food for others who are in need, or giving the sadaqat. If you can't, you can give voluntary zakat. You can do that. So by this way, you showing gratitude to Allah. Making your food halal, this is another way to show gratitude to Al-Muqeet. Take care of what you're saying and advising others, as it will be preserved by Al-Muqeet and you will be accountable for it. And this is very important, as we mentioned before, as one of the name of Allah Al-Muqeet, preserving your sayings. Provide the needy, as we mentioned, with what they need and more if you can. And focus on the heart's food. This is, in summary, the benefits of living with Al-Muqeet. I'm really impressed of this name. As usual, all thanks Allah, Alhamdulillah, all the names, all the beautiful names, if you go through it, you will find beauty and beauty and beauty. And what I just want to tell you that I am just picking up very, very summarized points. But if you're going to read in the all the scholars, mashallah, what they wrote about the names of Allah, you will find more and more. So in the final presentation, I remember the name of Allah, Al-Muqeet. When we come to the related story, well, actually, I didn't mention today a related story for Al-Muqeet. And what I need to know, you tell me. You tell me if we have one of our sisters now with us. I will be more than happy to tell me about Al-Muqeet, and specifically, I am asking about, is there any time passed by you and you wished to have a specific type of food you are wishing to have, and suddenly you found someone who is knocking your door and having specifically this type of food you wish?